Hello everybody, it's Jenny McGarvey here with you today to share the making of this page. I want to first off apologize for the tripod leg in this video. My oldest son knocked over one of my lamps and broke one of my bulbs, and so I had to shift everything around and ended up with the tripod in the photo. So hopefully it's not too distracting for you and not too much of a pain. It is quite distracting to me, however. Anyway, as you can see, I'm making a page about my dog using the Scraptastic Kit Club Best Day of My Life kit, and I have chosen some Echo Park papers to work with. I'm going to use that Viewmaster, is that what those things were called? Anyway, paper in the background. It's got sort of a wood grain and then those little circle with the hearts. And then I'm going to trim up that gray paper and use it on top mostly. So as you can see here, I am just trimming those bottom strips off the bottom of the paper, and I will get to trimming them up, as you can see right there, and starting to get all of my elements together. Now, when I got started here, I knew what sort of page design I wanted, but I wasn't exactly sure what papers I was going to use. I had sort of thought that I had maybe more pinks left in the kit, but actually I didn't have as many. So I chose this bright yellow pink paisley paper, which I really like a lot, but this is not how I anticipated using it, so I was a little bit unsure as I was cutting into it. Now I trimmed this 4-inch section, and I wanted to make it sort of the base of the real design of the page, and I do actually really like it on that page, and it pops, which is fantastic. I'm still not entirely sure it goes with the gray and the wood grain, but it's sort of unexpected, and I like that too. So now I'm pulling out some of those papers from the kit that have all those 3x4 pieces from Echo Park, and I found the one that I wanted, which was that bright pink with the orange and then also the white script on the top. I knew that it would be fun to add the pink to this kit. Since I don't get to use just pink a lot, I do like to use it when I scrap photos of the dog or of myself. So that worked out great. And I also need to find another piece of patterned paper to put right under there. I had thought that those arrows would work, but they really don't, and they really draw too much attention. So ultimately, after going through a bunch of different ones, I'm going to go back to that pink paisley paper that I used for the yellow and use the hexagons on the back, just because it really does not detract from the rest of what's going on the page. And that's exactly the point, is that I don't want anything that's competing. So now you can see that works much, much better, and it's not crazy and really drawing your eye to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of the vellum slide frames out of that Oh Darling package of all those vellum embellishments. I guess that's crate paper. I'm going to go ahead and layer those along with the photo and the patterned papers. I didn't want to do anything that was really going to take away from the other elements that I had chosen, which, like I said, it's the photo and that 3x4 card and the yellow background paper. Those are sort of what I'm focusing on, and the rest of it I want to sort of highlight those. So that's why these vellums are perfect. They really add, but they don't take away from anything, because you're not really necessarily drawn to those elements specifically. Now I'm going to go ahead and start adhering it all together. I have this weird way of doing it where I sort of just take it piece by piece and just adhere parts of it so that I can still turn it all over and adhere it all down. So as you can see, I am working with that. I'm using my ATG gun on the vellum bits. I find that you really can't see the ATG through vellum. I have no idea why that is, but it works out great. So I will use the ATG for those vellum pieces, as well as the patterned papers. Now I'll go ahead and put down this 4x6, the hexagon paper, the white one, and get that where I want it to go on the page, which is underneath sort of that big block. I'm going to turn that big block over and go ahead and adhere it all down to the base of the page. And then the real bulk of the page is finished. I do need to go through and embellish and things of that nature, but the most of the design is done and all adhered down, so I feel much more confident going into embellishing it, knowing that the elements aren't going to slide around and stuff. I'm not particularly careful or delicate when I'm scrapping, so if I don't get things adhered down, things get shifted around, and then I'm really not usually able to come back. So now I'm looking at that 12 by 12 sticker sheet. If I had more room without my lights there, I could have showed that to you, but I didn't. And then now I'm pulling out those Oh Darling vellum pieces again, that whole package of them. They're really great because there's so many different pieces and just a lot of different shapes and things like that in this package. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out and look for bits that I can use on this page, particularly really feminine ones like this flower, which is really cute, and I'm not exactly sure how else I would use it. And then also you'll see that I'm pulling out this arrow that has a really sweet little phrase on it, and it's perfect for my dog. And again, very feminine, and I wouldn't ordinarily use it. And a couple of these cute hearts, which I would be able to use on other pages, but I really like how they mimic that gray background paper as well. So now I'm still just choosing different little elements and keeping the whole page really soft and not competing with the overall design. And I'm pulling out those little half doily banners to go underneath the photo, and they're really cute, and I really like how they look there. And that bow just sort of keeps popping up when I'm going through all of the pieces, and I really like it and had sort of wished I could find a way to use it on this page, since bows aren't something I regularly get to use. Hopefully I'll be able to come up with a card or something like that to use that bow for. So now as you can see, I pulled out 5 of those half doily banners, and I'm going to go ahead and get those all worked out underneath my photo. But I have to clean up all those vellum pieces first, which can be kind of a pain because they're not exactly easy to pick up and then put back in the package. So now you can see I can sort of get to work lining them all up, which again, I'm not really particularly concerned with them being perfect. That's okay with me if they're not, but I do want them to be mostly straight and mostly in the correct places. So now I'm going to go ahead and start adhering all of those down, and again, using the ATG gun because it does work fantastically under the vellum. I can't really see it very much. And again, because I'm not really particularly perfectionist, so it doesn't bug me if you can see it just a little bit. Now luckily those banners will get stuck down, and I will use my sewing machine and sew through those once I'm finished with this page off camera, and then also up along the top of that patterned paper as well. I really like what the machine stitching adds to that particular page. Okay, so now all of those are adhered down, and I'm going to go ahead and add some journaling to this page. I was sort of going back and forth whether or not I would use a pencil and erase, but I ultimately decided just to go with my standard black lines and then journaling right on top of that. And as I've mentioned in other videos, I like the black lines. I like the contrast it provides to a page. I use it a lot just because I really like the way it looks. I'm sure someday I'll move on from it. My style will evolve, but for now, I like how it works, and it's easier for me. I don't have to go back and erase anything like that. So once that journaling is finished, I really will just add a couple of last minute elements because otherwise the page is really pretty much complete. And I love how that works out, that it's pretty easy to pull together a page using these Scraptastic kits. And I could make it feminine, or, this one isn't actually all that feminine looking at it. Now I'm adding the title using those Heidi Swap glittery little alphas, and they're so cute. I love the color and the glittery, and I don't typically consider myself to be that into glittery elements, but this really is super sweet and really works well for this particular page. And in the future, I will save these alphas and use them hopefully in my project life as well. They're a really good size for that, And with the glitter, it might make certain elements stand right out on those cards. So now I'm going to pull out my enamel dots and just add a little bit more to this page with those, a couple of little clusters of the enamel dots, which are super fun. And then once that's finished, I will just go ahead and do the stitching. Thanks for stopping by and watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thank you so much, and have a great day.